Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Plant Spot. So today I thought we would check out one of those velvety leaf philodendrons. So if you like this type of content, stick around. All right, guys, as I mentioned in the intro, today we're going to be talking about the Philodendron Gloriosum. Yeah, I had to think about that because there's a glorious, but this is the Gloriosum. So this plant is actually native to, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, Colombia, but can be found in Mexico, in Central America, Mexico, Brazil, and Venezuela. The thing about this plant is that it is a crawler. So in its native habitat, it grows along the forest floor. That gives us an indication of how to care for it. So just imagine if it's on the forest floor and it's got the canopy of trees above it, it doesn't get really bright direct light. It lives with bright indirect light, filtered dapple light coming through the trees and the other leaves and so on. I've seen where a lot of people have tried to grow this plant as a climber, but this plant is actually a crawler. So it creeps along the forest floor. I can give you a better look at how that happens. The rhizomes actually, let's see, it's better on this side. The stem, can you see in there? The stem actually grows along the surface of the dirt. And at each internode or each node, it pushes roots into the ground to stake itself. Now, if you're caring for this plant, the one thing to be aware of is that it is slow growing. I'm going to place a picture somewhere down here so you could see what it looked like when I purchased it. I bought this plant back on April 12th of 2023. And this is how big she's gotten since that time. Now, granted, when I bought her, she was in a tiny 3-inch, 4-inch pot. And for me, this is considerable growth and her leaves are maturing. So let's talk a little bit about the light. I mentioned that it grows on the floor with dappled light. So in other words, you don't want to give it too much direct light because it will scorch your leaves. If you happen to notice that your plant is growing leggy, it's because it's not getting enough light. So you're going to have to play with that lighting situation to find the best conditions in your home for her. As far as the watering, so you see, I took and I found this plastic container. It's actually one of those school things where you put stuff at the bottom, an office supply thing, if you will. And I opened holes in it. She originally was in a round pot, and when I upsized her the first time, I put her in a round pot again. But then I noticed that she kept hitting that edge. So I wanted to find something to put her in, and I didn't like the trough pots that I was finding. So this was my solution to that. This will give her a little bit of time to before she hits that end. So as far as watering, most philodendrons have a propensity for root rot. So you want to be mindful to put it in something that's very chunky and well draining. And when you do water, I wouldn't say let her get completely dry. And that's one of the reasons I like this clear pot, because I can actually see the soil. So if we look at the soil here, it looks like it's dry, but when I put my finger down in there, there's still some moisture. So for me right now, I'm not going to water her. But when you do water, you want to make sure that you water her thoroughly, that the water is coming out. Now, what causes root rot is not the amount of water you give her, it's the frequency with which you water her. So I'm not a fan of a schedule. I don't water anybody in the plant room on a schedule. It's more along the lines of when they need the water. And that's what you should always keep in mind. Don't set a schedule for yourself. Make sure that the plant actually needs water. And most of these plants will tell you when they need water. When you do water, water thoroughly. So that's my tip on that. As far as temperature, so being that they're from the rainforest, that gives us an indication that they do like it a little bit warm, and they would appreciate a little bit of humidity. But my mindset around that is, if you're comfortable in your home, then the plant will typically be comfortable. As far as the humidity levels, if you're in the north where you're using the heat and you tend to get the dry air, I would suggest potentially running a humidifier every couple of hours, or have it on a timer where it's giving the plants that extra humidity. But I find that this plant is very adaptable. I don't think you actually need to have a humidifier. I think it will adapt to your conditions and do just fine without. When it comes to fertilization, I fertilize with every watering. Now, granted, if you have your plant in a place where you see she's not producing any growth, then I would cut back on the fertilization, because the plant is not going to use those nutrients that you're putting in the water. But if your plant is continuing to grow and pushing out leaves, like we're going into fall right now, and if you look, you can see I've got new leaves coming out from the main stem. It would be this right here. And then there's a baby stem over here that's also pushing out a new leaf. So as long as she continues to grow, I'll continue to fertilize her. But then again, use your best judgment, right? If you're noticing that she's going dormant or that she's not pushing out any leaves, then cut back on the fertilization. But if you're giving her supplemental light and she's not going to realize that it's wintertime outside and she's still growing, then continue to fertilize. At least for me, that's what works best. We touched on the soil, and I'd said something about, making sure that it's well draining. It's okay to use potting soil, or, I'm not a fan of Miracle-Gro, but any other brand. But I would add amendments to that. So, like add a little bit of orchid bark, some cocoa husk, some perlite, some charcoal, things to make it drain quickly. Doing that will help prevent the root rot, and it'll make for a happy plant. Propagation for this one is like with any other crawler. So to propagate this plant, I haven't propagated this one, but you guys saw me propagate the I'm going to butcher that name, Pastrasama? Anyway, another crawler that I had. You want to cut along the main stem. So like where each leaf is, you'll see that you can cut in between those. And let me see. He says he can't see and I can't figure out how to show you better. I know. If you can see the main stem. If you can see the main stem, you would want to cut between the nodes. Basically is all I'm trying to say while he tries to get that shot. But yeah, super simple. You could propagate in water. My last propagation of a crawler, I did it in soil, and she seems to be doing fine that way. I have certain plants that I like to propagate certain ways. So you got to find what works best for you. As far as the crawler is concerned, I think the soil works best for me. Now, toxicity, I think that's how you say that word. This one is toxic. So I want you to keep that in mind. Pets, dogs, children, you want to make sure that they're not going to play with the leaves or bite the leaves or anything along those lines. Now, what drew me to this plant? You guys know I'm a leaf girl. Look at the leaves. So this is her newest leaf. This one right here. And look at the difference. You see how bright and green that is, and how the veination it's got this like little pink blush. As the leaves mature, that coloration goes away and it becomes a little bit more, stop bouncing, a little bit starker, and the leaves get darker. And I think that's very pretty. The backside of the leaf is not a whole lot to talk about. It's nothing really fancy back there, but the leaves are just gorgeous. This one is not as mature as I've seen them. These leaves can get huge, and that is my goal. I want to see big, pillowy, big leaves. But I am happy with this growth. On a scale of 1 to 10, do I think it's beginner friendly? Absolutely. I think that as a beginner, if you want to try something different and you want to dip your hand in a philodendron, this is a good plant to start. I would say I'd give this maybe about a 7 on the beginner scale. If you keep in mind, you know, some of the conditions, right? Don't overwater, make sure she's in a chunky mix, and make sure you're giving her the right light. I think you can grow this. It's a super friendly plant. They're not hard to come by anymore. And if you want something that's not going to grow out of its space very quickly, this is a good recommendation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little spotlight. Please join, subscribe, become part of the community. Don't forget, share. Talk to you guys real soon. Bye.